Good evening.
Hi.
I almost want to kind of do the the Alfred Hitchcock thing. Good evening. That was like a whole bunch of his intros. Like it's just
Yes.
it's very strange. But
I want to do something real quick on the mic on here. I want to see what this sounds like when we go back and play this back. Wait one. Oh yeah, that sounded awesome. What's going on, everybody's? Welcome for the first time, or welcome back
if you're a return visitor
to the Battle Bros podcast with Mac and Alamo. I am Mac, this handsome son of Boricua, or the SOB as I call him. This is Alamo. Yeah, he's the ass hat wearer of the duo, so he'll
indeed.
he'll show that in full effect here within a short amount of time. So
It don't take long.
that's your warno. You have been briefed as you were. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Glad to see you as always. It's another Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And here we are doing this little pet project that we call the Battle Bros Podcast. If you like what you see, go ahead and like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell on all the different social media platforms. Check us out. You can check out previous episodes that we've done. All that good stuff. Would you quit breathing into the microphone while I'm talking?
Also,
damn it, dude.
If you like what you see, make sure you swipe the right direction.
Good God. Oh, my God. Inhale my monster here. Stand by.
Indeed.
I got about half of it down. We're good.
Pudding.
Yeah, I like this new flavor. Like it's the Monster Juice. It's called Chaotic. It's very tropical. I'm digging it. It's not exactly papaya, but it's something kind of like mango or some kind of like tropical-esque flavor. So
I'm all about them tropical flavors.
oh, the
like
pipeline
the
punch
flavors.
is great. That's got papaya in it. It's really good. This
Nice.
is more like I'm having a hard time placing it. I was talking about this with a friend of mine, and we couldn't figure out where the hell it is. But like I was saying, folks, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button.
Hit the Rumble button if you're on Rumble.
Hit the Rumble button if you're on Rumble. All that good stuff. We have been doing it. This is our 62nd episode.
Ooh, by the way, speaking of, I meant to tell you, bro.
Oh, boy.
We've got like over 40 views on Rumble for, I believe it was our... I think it was for our Go to Sit Call Damn It episode, and like well over like I think like 20 or 30 rumbles. It's pretty fucking awesome.
I was looking at our views on YouTube, and we actually did pretty good on the Go to Sit Call one. It's like, all right, unorthodox always works. Huzzah! But anyway, if you're joining us for the first time, we sincerely welcome you to our show, our little pet project. We are just two guys. I'm just a dude. He's just a dude. We're just two dudes. And we abide. Us dudes abide. And if you don't catch a reference from that, shame on you. So, anyway, we have been friends for a long damn time, and we went to high school together. We were in high school together when 9/11 happened. We've stayed friends for all that time. Hold that thought. Excuse me. Shut your face. I see it. The look on your face. Just shut your damn brain. I can
Good job
hear
keeping
you.
it in.
No. Hush. Shut your mouth.
Negative.
Like I was saying, we've been friends for a long damn time. He pisses me off on the regular, and we do a podcast together, and I hope he spits soda all over his damn computer, you asshat wearing shit.
Indeed.
All seriousness aside, though, this is my best friend in the whole world, and we have this pet project that we do, and we enjoy doing it, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it later. But
hell yes.
First and foremost, let's give our shout-outs where they're due. We want to give a shout-out to our friend Amelia. She has a small side little hustle that she's got going on. It's called Sassy Girl Apothecary. It's spelled GURL, sassygirlapothecary.squarespace.com. We both use her products. She makes these handmade natural ingredient soaps. They are awesome. They don't feel and they don't make you feel like crap. They don't, they make you feel smooth and pampered and um,
Dude, this is by far it's like straight up, this is by far one of the best shaving soaps I've ever fucking had.
oh
Like
yeah.
my irritation whenever I shave is like nowhere to be found when I shave with this soap whatsoever. None.
To quote Eddie Murphy from Saturday Night Live as Buckwheat, it is okay. So
Hmm.
I am a real big fan of the denim and leather scent, and Alamo here likes the rum and coffee, which is right up his alley. So, yeah. But she does soap, she does candles. We will bring that up at the end of the show, but also we just want to just give her some love and just, help her, get her business out there and grow and whatnot. And she's hopefully doing the same thing for us. So, Amelia, there's your shout out. We love you, appreciate it. Thanks for hooking us up.
Indeed.
As always, they also make really good exfoliation bars, like the gray charcoal bars.
Yeah.
Dupe. But they also make candles, which is cool too. So,
And by the way, fellas, there's nothing wrong with your skin feeling silky smooth, if you catch my drift. The ladies will love you for it.
hell, I'll love you for it because you feel like a freaking, you don't feel like a giant walking, talking callus everywhere, which
Indeed.
is okay. Some people like that. But if you don't want to use the soap, she makes candles as well. You want a little bit more of like, something a little bit more manly for your office or for, your living space and stuff. Try the denim and leather. It's not overpowering, but it's a nice kind of like masculine type smell. It's not like fruity. And if you're not into that kind of thing, hey, there's something for you. So check it out. But that's going to be Sassy Girl, GURL dot sassygirlapothecary.squarespace.com. We'll put that up at the end of the show again as well. But that's our plug for the beginning. So let's get into the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes of the show.
The meat and potatoes.
Hey. So if you caught our show last week, we discussed captivity. And we were talking about how, not only that meant what that meant for like POWs during Vietnam and for the couple of occasions that kind of took place during Global War on Terror, how that can be applicable to your daily life as an individual, not necessarily in the military. It can be
Absolutely.
financial, it can be emotional, it can be the restraints of your job causing you to be in captivity, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to check,
good discussion if you want to check it out. Link in the description, by the way.
absolutely. If you want, you go back and check it out. It's on our YouTube channel right now, which has got everything up. We are having a couple of issues getting some of the older episodes up. We're working to remedy that, so bear with us. I know we're only at like episode 57
on the audio platforms. Yeah,
on the audio platform, so just bear with us. We're trying to get those
I am
up.
in the process of getting the next few episodes back up there.
Yeah, we're working to resolve that. So thank you for being patient with us. Sorry. So this week we're going to talk about a topic which seems pretty simple, but it's also something that you probably don't necessarily talk about on a regular basis. It's just kind of one of those things that's like assumed to be part of your life and whatnot. So this week we chose for episode 062, we are going to talk about the subject of responsibility, and not just on the military side, but also on the civilian side. We're going to try to give some coverage on both sides of the coin, so to speak. So let's kick the tires and light the fires, as they say. So what is responsibility? Responsibility is defined as the state or fact of having a duty to deal with something or of having control over someone. The state or fact of being accountable or to blame for something, or the opportunity or ability to act independently and make decisions without authorization. Okay? So, let's look at it from the military side first, okay? Because this is something that, we obviously can both comment on, being veterans ourselves. So, responsibility. Let's talk about that. So, you're thinking about joining the military, you sign up, I think for both of us, and hopefully I'm not speaking too far out of bounds for my good man Alamo here, but after the events of 9/11, we kind of thought like, hey, this is the defining moment of our generation.
Yep.
So it is our responsibility to answer that call and serve and do our part and all that kind of stuff. Would you agree or not agree with that?
Uh, yeah, hell yeah. Um, I know for a fact, like I've always felt like I needed to do something more. Call it, you know, I don't know, like a greater sense of like duty, whatever. I always felt like I needed to be responsible for more than
he
just what
said
was
he said duty.
duty. You said duty. The, but but it really just came down to my family, my sisters, my mom. They were. I felt like, especially because I was the only guy in my household at the time, that it was my responsibility to not only be, you know, a better citizen, but it was my responsibility to do better and do what I can to protect my family and my community.
Yeah. Oh crap! I forgot to plug something in. Oops. Um.
Oh, there's an adage in there on under our newts, by the way. Just yeah.
Okay. Keep talking for a minute. I gotta cut the camera off for just a second and plug something in. I'll be right back.
So responsibility, y'all. Um, when it comes to responsibility of just the American warrior, the Marine, the Army soldier, airman, sailor, whatever, you name it. Um, it's it's really something that is kind of ingrained into the military. You're not just responsible for your own actions, but you're responsible for those around you. Um, and that's in a like not just in a very deep sense, but it's in a very professional sense. You're responsible for keeping your
Sorry, dude.
weapons clean. No worries. You're responsible
What did I
for
miss?
just talking about responsibility in the military. You're
Okay.
responsible for keeping your weapons clean. You're responsible for watching the back and watching the six of the guys and gals next to you.
Did you talk
Um,
about like your basic responsibility?
kind of, sort of. Yeah.
Three things.
If you want to touch on it,
I don't exactly know what you said because my headphones were disconnected. Be at the right place, at the right time, in the right uniform. If you want to really break it down to just nitty gritty type stuff,
yep,
that's all it is.
absolutely.
I'm sorry about that, dude. I forgot to plug in my Ethernet cable. My computer was already getting a little glitchy, and I was like, "Oh no,
I
what's going
start.
on?"
I started noticing you were getting a bit choppy. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
I was like, "Oh shit."
no,
So my bad.
you're good.
But yeah, so to kind of like double tap what he was talking about, even before that, your responsibility of knowing what is going to be expected of you, signing up and putting your name on the dotted line, going down to the MEPS and all that kind of stuff, and going through all
Damn right.
those hurdles and hoops and all that kind of stuff. I just said poodles and I didn't mean to. But then from
Bark,
there,
bark.
shut up. From there, we're talking about learning how to be a service member. Your responsibility is to train and familiarize yourself with your new lifestyle. Um, Becoming a member of a team, becoming a member of a flight, of a squadron, of a platoon, of a whatever everybody else calls it, company, a squad, all that kind of shit.
Pretty much.
And like you mentioned as well, just learning how to do your job. Um, Learning the responsibilities of your job. Like, if you're like for infantry guys, like, you're responsible for your weapons maintenance. You're
As
responsible
Colonel Moore put it, learn the job of the men above and below you.
and teach your job to the men below you. Yes,
Correct.
absolutely. I'm glad you said it. That's a great example of like responsibility and like um, you know the dissemination of responsibility and duty and
Damn
all that
right.
kind of stuff. That's a great example of that. I mean, the way they run those things and stuff.
Colonel Moore was a wise man.
Yeah, it was. And also,
God
what
rest your
was it?
soul, sir.
What was the name of the pilot? Too tall or snake shoot? What
Uh
was his name?
oh my god, why am I forgetting it?
He was a
Oh
major. He
man.
was a captain. I forget.
Yeah, and he won the Medal of Honor too. You figured I'd
He
remember this.
was he
Freaking
was
A.
awarded the Medal of Honor. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Keep
I don't
talking.
know. I'm drawing a blank on me. Are you looking for it?
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, man. Like the responsibility you have in the military. I mean, think about it. Think about it this way. It's kind of all encompassing, right? Specifically because you're a group of young adults learning how to
Ah,
kind of get to. You found it.
yeah.
Nice.
Major Bruce Crandall.
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 God
Yeah.
dog it.
When
Crandall.
he was awarded the Medal of Honor, he retired a colonel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the amount of
Legit.
flights, I think the amount of flights he did over 100, or no, or
He flew
shit.
22 missions in a Bell Huey helicopter in
Yep.
enemy fire. Let me finish reading. Let me click on the link. To evacuate more than 70 wounded and bring ammunition supplies to U.S. forces by the end of the Vietnam War. He had flown more than 900 combat missions, retired from the Army
Hmm.
as a lieutenant colonel. But I do believe
He had docked like more than 100+ hours, I think is what it was, or some shit like that. Like
yeah,
just in one, like just in one mission or some shit like that.
so he retired. He retired in 1977. His final Army assignment was he was senior engineer advisor to the California Army National Guard. He was originally an engineer officer. He was just helicopter pilot rated. In 77, he retired from the Army as a light colonel. Here's the
Nice.
interesting thing. Crandall was promoted to full colonel on April 15th, 2010, more than 30 years after retiring from the Army, in recognition of his accomplishments and receiving the Medal of Honor. The ceremony was
Damn.
held at the Army Aviation Association convention in Fort Worth, Texas. He attended in June 24, 2013, unveiling the Medal of Honor recipient Leroy Petrie's statue in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, he's done a lot of cool stuff. So he's a master
Nice.
aviator. He's got 4 distinguished flying crosses. He's got, holy crap. I'm looking at his awards and decorations here. 23 air medals. He has the numerals 23 on air medals. He has 23 different air medal citations.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
That's
So
dope
anyway,
is what it is.
let's get back on track here. So, but yeah, and you bring up a very interesting point too, talking about Crandall and all those guys. So,
Mhm.
not only do you have a responsibility to learning your job, your equipment, upkeeping your stuff. Like it says in the Ranger Creed too. It's like, my neatness of dress and the care of my equipment shall set me apart from. And I know I'm paraphrasing this. I'm not trying to recite it
Not
verbatim.
trying to slaughter it, guys. So don't
I'm
don't
not
don't
trying to
kill us.
butcher this stuff either. So like, just hold off
Yeah.
before you come at me with that noise. I mean,
Yeah.
if I was doing it maliciously, you'd be right to. I'm not.
Yeah.
Simmer down now. And
Madonna.
anyway, but like they say that in the
Steven.
Ranger Creed, it's like my care for my equipment will set me apart from others, and that's absolutely right. So,
Mm-hmm.
but also, the responsibility to your unit, your peers, the people below you, your subordinates, and your leadership. You have responsibility to be the best soldier or employee or whatnot. Well, in this case, military, we're talking about, service member. You have the responsibility of being the best service member you can, so that way your leadership can properly utilize you, not only for the mission accomplishment, but just also for further tasking in the future and stuff. So that's going to be especially crucial. But
Damn
another
right.
aspect of military, which is equally important and I think kind of underlooked, is our responsibility. Me talking about me and Alamo here, is our responsibility to the kids and the younger folks that came after us. So I've told
Yeah.
this story several times, and I'll tell it again. When I was working in retail with this guy here, and our good buddy John and all these guys, we all used to work together. We'll talk about that later. I had a guy come up to me, and we just opened up this retail business. It was a firearms retailer in Tampa, and This guy comes in, older gentleman, and he's rocking a cool like gray Manchu mustache, and you could kind of tell he was about the right age to be a Vietnam vet and all that kind of stuff. So on his belt, he had a little leather flapped phone case because this was before smartphones. Everybody's still rocking a flip phone most times,
Mm-hmm.
and he had the old school Eagle Rising insignia for warrant officers. And I was like, oh, okay. So I see him. I'm like, he's like, how's it going? I'm like, what's going on, Chief? He goes, how the hell did you know that? And I'm like, I saw your eagle on your phone case. He goes, oh, good eye. Most guys don't ever notice that. I'm like, well, I mean, that they still use that. I'm in the Army. So he goes, oh, okay. But getting to know this gentleman, and for the life of me, I can't remember his name, and I feel bad about that. But I was talking to him and just getting to know him a little bit. He's like, he was in fact a Vietnam vet. He was a helicopter pilot. He was a warrant officer and stuff. And he's like, we want to make sure what you guys are going through, you guys don't have happen to you what happened to us. Get spit on and called baby killer and all this bullshit. Like, no, no, no. That's our job to make sure you don't go through that kind of shit. And like that was just such a profound moment to me. It's just like they're taking on this duty, so to speak, this responsibility to say, listen, these guys are going over here for something good. It's not politicized. It's not all this crap from Washington, all this other stuff. Like, leave all that shit by the side of the road. They're over there doing a job. Let's treat them accordingly. So I kind of have adopted that to my own self. And it's like anybody that comes after me, it's like, okay, you know, we're going to try to give you the same respect given and just make sure you understand it. Like, hey, we want you guys to go through and have all the perks and benefits. I can't tell you how many times we had like cool stuff going on just because of the time that we were in. GWAT. We always had Toby Keith's song, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, or all that kind of stuff playing. American Soldier, all those songs that were very definitive of the time, and this and that and the
All
other.
those things that were very Murica at the time.
America, exactly. So, but yeah, all those different things are gonna have responsibility. So I found a decent article that I'm gonna read for you guys real quick. This is actually from Indeed.com. I believe it's from out of California. It's why is responsibility important at work, and they had updated this on 5 January of this year. So I'm going to try to get through this without stumbling over my words too much and all that kind of stuff. So, responsibility is a valuable trait that helps individuals excel in several areas of their lives. It ensures that they take ownership of their duties and that they care for those around them. I swear, I think we just said that. If you want to enhance your professional satisfaction and make yourself a better candidate for advancement, it might be helpful to learn more about responsibility and its advantages. In this article, we define professional responsibility, explain why responsibility is important, and list some tips for increasing and demonstrating responsibility in the workplace. What is professional responsibility? Professional responsibility is the act of taking ownership of your work performance and striving to meet the demands of your position. Depending on your career, this could include a variety of things, including following company policies, completing all your duties in a timely way, remaining punctual, and taking accountability for your actions. Responsible individuals also accept leadership roles and provide support for their coworkers. Responsibility is a valuable attitude that can make you more valuable in the workplace and help advance your career. So, why is responsibility important? A couple of reasons why. Helps in career advancement. If you're passionate about advancing into senior or leadership roles, responsibility can be an essential asset. When looking for management and leadership candidates, companies often seek individuals who take accountability and strive for excellence in their job performance. Responsibility can help you foster these traits and can make you a more attractive candidate for high level positions. Demonstrates good character. Responsibility is a good way to demonstrate your character and approach to work. If you respect your coworkers and value your job, taking responsibility for your tasks and accountability for your mistakes is a great way to show it. This can make you a more valuable part of your team and may make you eligible for advancement. Improves workplace relationships. For a workplace team to operate efficiently, it's vital for every member to take their work seriously and support their coworkers. Taking responsibility for your tasks can show your coworkers that you value them and prioritize the projects you share. This respect can lead to stronger relationships in the workplace and can improve work satisfaction for you and your colleagues. I'm just going to kind of read a couple of other bullet points of this article because it's a little bit on the longer side. So,
Mm.
um, it talks also about achieving responsibility in your career, like being aware, building relationships. I'll read that one. Concern for your coworkers and the needs of your employer is an important part of professional responsibility. In the military, duh. Okay, you do want to have that professional
Hmm.
responsibility for your coworkers, your guys under you, your squad mates, your guys in your platoon, company, all that kind of stuff. It's often easier to take on more responsibility if you care about positive outcomes and want to help those around you. If you experience indifference about your work, try to build better relationships with your coworkers and supervisors. Okay, so let's put a pin in that for just a second. We've all had that one supervisor, that one first line supervisor, team leader. If you're a team leader, you've got your squad leader who's just a pain in the dick. Okay, what they're saying is right. Howsoever, it would behoove somebody to get their head out of their fourth point of contact so that they may foster better relationships with their superiors. Catch my drift? Cool. Moving along. So, this can give you a greater investment in the common goals of the company and may make it easier to take on responsibilities. Strong relationships also lead to greater trust. Hallelujah. I'm glad they said that. This is essential if you want to build a good reputation and demonstrate your readiness for advancement. If you're already in a leadership role, trust can help you lead your team more effectively and accomplish better outcomes. Yes. Okay. Being resilient is also important. Taking responsibility can sometimes be challenging and may involve tough decisions. In some cases, you may have to prioritize your tasks or your coworkers over your personal preferences. When this happens, it's important to build your resilience and perseverance. And then demonstrating integrity. This is one of the other ones that I really wanted to mention.
Don't question my integrity.
I feel like I should know where that's from, and I feel bad that I don't. What is that from?
That's me.
Oh, okay. Keep on. People with integrity follow a strict set of values, no matter what the situation is. Even when decisions are difficult, their coworkers can expect them to follow their ethical code. Try to demonstrate integrity in your work and avoid compromising, even when faced with tough decisions. You can create greater trust between you and your coworkers, and foster your sense of responsibility. Okay? So, some just kind of briefly, we're going to talk about some tips they have. So, we have being punctual, accept and volunteer for tasks. Okay, again, putting a pin in it. You
Mhm.
want to be careful what you volunteer for in the military. It's like, oh, I need to
Correct.
volunteer. Hey, you're going to scrub by hand 100 yards of asphalt in the heat, in the summer, in full multicam uniform and
I was gonna
boots.
say
What
with
the
full
heck?
gear on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
full battle rattle. Capiche? All right. Accept and volunteer for tasks. Be careful what you volunteer for. Making hard decisions, as I talked about a minute ago. Helping and motivating others. Fostering a positive attitude. Okay, that's very, very, very important. Okay, so those are kind of like some things you can do to kind of help out with that stuff. Now, there's another article that Alamo found here, which I'm pulling up right now. The responsibilities of soldiers. Here we go. So, oh wow, this is okay. So yeah, what is a soldier? Soldiers are members of the U.S. Army. Okay, we all know that. At all
Hmm.
times, soldiers must behave in ways that demonstrate adherence to the U.S. Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These admirable values serve soldiers well throughout their lifetime. That's true because I still stick to those, and I was taught those so many years ago. Holy crap.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and it just kind of breaks down like all the different stuff, but they also have a lot of ads. That's really not a whole lot on here. So, okay. But yeah. Um Yeah. Soldiers Soldiers in the Army shoulder the responsibility of protecting themselves, each other, the United States from domestic terrorists and foreign enemies. Soldiers may hold many types of jobs. There's over 150 career options. Yeah, okay, that's good, but we're kind of get the gist of that. So, but yeah, like I was saying, you know, responsibility goes a lot of different ways in the military. I mean, you have responsibility to be right place, right time, right uniform, looking out for
Damn
guys
right.
underneath you, learning your job as well as you can. I mean, being infantry guys, we were, encouraged to look over. If we didn't have a copy, we were encouraged to acquire a copy of the FM 7-8, which is the Infantry Rifle Platoon and Squad, which is now called something else. And it's like, sorry, in my time, it was a 7-8. That's what I'm going to always call it, is a 7-8. So I'm going to leave that alone. But yeah, so we were encouraged to learn that as best we could, learn all of the different ins and outs of our job, this and that and the other, um, just to be a better soldier, a better infantryman at our job and whatnot. So now, looking at the civilian side of things, okay, what are our responsibilities as a civilian person or independent, or just
A fuck
as
ton.
a, he speaks words? This is
Yeah.
Alamo the caveman. A fuck ton. I gotta eat my pre-workout.
Damn right.
Jesus,
That
freaking this guy.
pre-workout. I
As
snort
he,
that
as you
shit.
sit over here, he's sitting over here, freaking just showing off his deltoid over here, whatever the fuck, tricep. I don't know. I failed anatomy, so whatever.
You did.
Shut up. Anyway, so what are some responsibilities to yourself? Well, as an individual, I probably should have labeled that a little bit differently on our notes, but
Number one, health.
yeah, well, we'll get to that.
Fucking take care of yourself.
That's very important. Yes. So we'll get to that because that is something I kind of want to hit on last, but all good. You know, responsibility to your family. Alamo can tell you he's got two boys. I've got a daughter. Like, our responsibility is to give our kids every chance to succeed, be there to pick up the pieces when they do fail, try to invoke a good learning, teachable moment, and just be there to support them as long as we can until they go off into being adults. And it's just like, okay, I'm still here. I'm just not immediately available because you might not live with me anymore. You might be out of college, off on your own, married, kids, all that kind of shit. So
Damn
whatever.
right.
But also, and that brings up another good point too. Your family being your spouse, your loved ones, somebody you're dating, you have responsibility to them as well. Um, Obviously, that gets a little bit more cemented as you enter into like holy matrimony. You know what I'm saying? But
Rare.
in a similar fashion, like we talked about with the military, at your job, you have a responsibility to doing your job to the best of your ability, to your supervisors, to your boss, customers, if you have customers in your type of field. Alamo works in retail. We both worked in retail at one point. We were in one specific department of the business that we worked in, so we saw a ass ton of customers on a daily freaking basis. And
Because
that,
we were the fastest ones, the
well,
fastest
yeah,
moving people.
we were just good at what we did. So it's
Yeah.
but we also had a lot of responsibilities of like maintenance. We had responsibilities of customer service, troubleshooting. Hey, why am I waiting so long? Well, sir, we're popular. We're good at what we do. This is a limited facility. We only have so many lanes available. So, yeah, appreciate your patience. We don't expect it, but we appreciate it, kind of shit. So,
Basically.
yeah. Um, this is one that I've been thinking about a lot too. Your subordinates, underlings as well. So the people underneath you, like new guys coming on the job, if you're like a crew leader or like a shift manager, or kind of like, I imagine, kind of like um, folks that work for police departments or sheriff's offices or something like that. As a supervisor, you have all of the other officers and deputies below you. You're there to call when they request a supervisor. You're there for them, but you're also there to make sure that they're doing their job the best way fit, the professional contact, dealing with the populace in a healthy, constructive way that doesn't bring discredit upon your guys, but just also to enforce the laws as well. And that's hard enough without getting into the personalities of other people, especially when they're doing up to no good, doing some bad shit. So is what it is. But another aspect of that too is like, I look at it like this. You have the responsibility of, like, let's say like a teacher to a student. They have the responsibility of trying to impart their knowledge from themselves onto their students. Um, Trying to get them to, hey, we're going to teach you about something. We want you to learn this so you can move on to the next grade. And then, hey, you're out in fifth grade. Now you're going to middle school. You're done with middle school. Now you're going to high school. Now you're starting to get ready for school, for college, for, graduating, all this kind of stuff. Or like myself as a therapist, I have a responsibility to the clients that I see, not only to make sure that I'm, being the most professional I can be, um, but also just to make sure that I keep them safe, I keep myself safe and go home in one piece. And just to make
Mhm.
sure, like, there's not a lot of, like, other crap that gets in the way. If something were to happen, it's my job first and foremost just to make sure that I remain with them and keep them safe and give them the help and the therapeutic value of what I can offer. So,
Yep, damn
what all
right.
did you want to what all did you want to add to that, there, dude? I know I've been sitting here rambling for like 20 minutes.
Well, no, I mean, as a husband and a father, you know what I mean. It's kind of like I see it like this. You have a responsibility. For any of our listeners and viewers that are married and have kids. I'm kind of just going to harp on it just a little bit. And expand on a little bit more on what Mac covered was you have a responsibility to take care of yourself so that you could take care of your family, so you could take care of others, man. That's why making sure that you maintain your health, make both physical and mental. That's what we stress here at the Battle Bros podcast. You know what I mean? We stress mental and physical health. Like you can do no greater good than making sure that. And I'm gonna go out on a limb. Going on a limb and say this. You need to be selfish sometimes. You do.
I
And
will second that. Yes,
you
there are
you
times when you have a responsibility to be a little bit selfish to yourself, and we'll
right.
kind of delve into that a little bit further. But I do agree with that.
You know, you need to be a little bit selfish. So, like, you can't stretch yourself thin, giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving to everybody, because before you notice, or before you know it, you'll have stretched yourself too thin. And then what? How are you going to help your family then? How are you going to help your kids? How are you going to help your wife? How much more are you going to be able to give them when you've already stretched yourself,
You stretch yourself
as
so thin, and then you have that. Oh shit! I'm kind of in the middle of it here. So
or how is it that Bilbo Baggins said it in the Lord of the Rings, like butter spread across too much bread. Um,
I
it.
wasn't sure where you were going with that, but that was actually spot on. I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll roll with that shit. Let's go.
So
Let fuck go.
but it's. I mean, sorry, we're fucking nerds, so we do nerd fucking references. But
Speak for yourself, gay.
she, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? You
And if
have to learn.
anybody's curious about what Alamo was talking about, we actually did an episode a while back. I think it was episode 047, where we talked about
Yeah,
being selfless versus selfish, and why
selfish,
selfish isn't always a bad thing.
right?
Like Alamo talked about. Sometimes you kind of have to do what you need to do for yourself, and it's like,
Hmm.
hey, like, okay, rock on with your bad self.
Yep.
So,
The
but yeah, absolutely.
responsibility.
The
The res-
responsive. So it's kind of, since we brought that up, let's just go ahead and get into it. Like you said, the responsibility to yourself. I mean, and that's what something a lot of guys in the military have to learn the hard way. It's like, if
yeah,
you're not looking out for yourself, who the fuck is gonna? It's
yeah,
like there's a lot of times where, like, you need to make sure you cover your six and make sure that you have copies of all your important records, promotions, for
yep.
anything
Because
favorable.
nobody
Like,
else is gonna do it for you.
get copies of all your 4187 forms. Get copies of your promotion certificates. Get copies of your correspondence, any type of medical stuff, profiles, injuries, line of duty type stuff. all that shit comes into play later on. I mean, you got to take care of yourself, and that's what a lot of guys think. Oh, I'm in the army, the military. They're going to take care of me. Wrong.
Yeah, no.
You are wrong, Mister.
The
They
military loves
are.
you until they don't.
I mean, and that's not us trying to sound like we're bitter. It's just
No.
cold hard facts. Like you
Yeah.
serve a purpose when you're no longer a cog in that machine.
When you are a member of the military, you
They're
are
going to replace
considered
that cog and put a new one in there that doesn't squeak.
United
So,
States military property. You are a tool in the proverbial toolbox to get a job done. And when you've lost your usefulness, you are replaced. Thank you.
what do you do with a broken e tool? You DX it. You directly exchange it. What do you do with a fucked up rucksack? You DX it. What do you do with a guy who's no longer able to ruck and
Broke dick.
able to shoot and broke dick? You DX them. And that's kind of something you have to realize. So it's your responsibility to look out for yourself, whether you're in the military, whether you're not. I mean,
Yep.
there's like one of the things I'm doing to be responsible for me is I'm just trying to practice better self care and better,
Yep.
just not health care, but better self care
Yeah.
because there's just times like you have to make sure that you take the time for yourself. I mean, I'm looking at these people and I was like, why do they take so many trips? And now that I'm like, I work a lot
Now you know.
and I'm just like, oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I feel like a
Mm.
dumbass for not doing that more. So it's very important. Somebody I know was telling me that they had something going on where they thought they were kind of ill or sick with something, so they went and they did one of these telehealth appointments. And the physician was like, "Oh, you probably have this going on." They gave them some type of prescription for meds and whatnot. Well, they ended up having a not so great reaction to the medication, and they were just like, ugh, what the fuck? So
Mhm.
they were telling me, they were like, they were talking to the doctor, and the doctor was like, why didn't you come in instead of doing the telehealth appointment? And they were like, I didn't want to miss work. And the doctor, so I'm not taking sides with this doctor, but they were like, well, I guess you know better now, don't you? I get what you were trying to say, but you don't have to wear the prick suit when you say it. So,
Correcto mundo.
but I mean, and even that person, they're like, I know now. I need to take the time and take care of me. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad you told me that story. That's very applicable for what we're talking about tonight. So, but yeah, responsibility comes in many ways, shapes, or form. You have a responsibility to make sure your car is registered. You have a responsibility to do all this other stuff. You have a responsibility to, pay rent, pay utilities,
Right.
all this other kind of junk. So, what else did you want to add to that, there, dude?
No, no, and it just in the long short of this is, I
Excuse
mean,
me.
I don't think like after I say what I'm going to say, I don't think we really need to add much more to this. But like, I mean, the long short of this is man, like responsibility is all encompassing, man. Like you you really have to focus on, you know, in all honesty, it's really about focusing on the present. You know, damn the future, damn the past. Like you focus on what you got to do right now. You know what I mean? What is going on right now? What do we have to take care of? What has to be, what has to be done? You know, taking care of yourself, physically, mentally, fucking, taking a fucking mental health day, which is a fucking thing, no matter how much you want to fucking think it isn't.
And if you got
Um,
haters out there that are getting on you for taking mental health day, just treat them like they don't chew big red. So you can say, "Hey, fuck you."
think
You
of
know,
a and hey, at the end of the day, you know, guess what? People come and go in our lives, dude. Call it, fate, call it the grace of God, call it, God, the universe telling you, hey, this guy's not good for you.
to
Whatever the fuck
quote
it is,
to quote a line from your lovely wife: "Change your circle, change
change
your
your
life."
life.
And
And
sometimes you choose, and sometimes it's chosen for you.
correct. Exactly. And that's, I mean, really about it, man. Just take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your health.
And I think the last thing I would like to say on that is like, I would guess, if we had to kind of put ourselves in one big happy hunky dory global family community and stuff, our responsibility is to the next generation,
Correct.
leaving a place better for them, whether that's, socio-political, whether it's, from the environmentalistic standpoint, you name it. I mean, it's just things change. So a lot of times people don't think about the impact. Now you can't walk around thinking about that all the time, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you do have to kind of think like, what am I doing to set up the future for
Correct.
for success? How am I leaving it a little bit better than I found it for the next guy that comes here. So
You have an obligation now to do the right thing to set up what can be right for the generations to come. That's how I would say that.
I kind of always, when I think about responsibility, I think about a quote from Edmund Burke, which is it's also displayed before the credits at the end of the movie Tears from the Sun, which is a Bruce Willis movie. It's a great,
Mm.
great military movie. And it's not
Excellent
just a
movie.
military
Excellent movie.
movie, but it also talks about like personal conflict and your personal values and your beliefs and your ethos and all that kind of stuff. And the quote goes like this: It says, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men
Good
to do
men to do
nothing."
nothing.
Yeah. So they are taking the responsibility upon themselves to make sure that bad men don't do bad
Bad
shit.
stuff.
Exactly. So a lot to think about there. I mean, and you can go and argue and discuss this and delve into this topic for days or weeks or months on time if you were in a
Oh,
think
dude,
tank or
I honest to God, I think we'd be able to drag this into like a fucking 3-hour conversation, and it would be an out fucking standing conversation. But
right. We also have
yeah.
responsibility to not be on here all night. To our
Correct.
families. He's got 2
Yeah.
boys. I've got a daughter. So yeah, we got a
Yeah.
responsibility to not be up all night. In case the
Yeah.
kids can walk in, Daddy, I need a drink of water. I'm on the show. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, if we don't have anything else to add, that's our talk on responsibility, why it's important. Um, and we can parlay this into one other quick thing that we're going to talk about here when we're closing out the show and stuff. But
Yar.
Alamo is going to kind of figure out what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, responsibility, it's just one of those things. It's not really talked about a whole lot unless you're into something, a
Yeah.
field or some type of career where that's very, very prevalent, whether it's first
I also
responder, go ahead.
I also think no, well, I mean I agree with you. I think it also comes down to just people are just afraid to kind of
There's a
it,
little bit of, I would say
it
there's a little bit
you
of a
don't want to rub
non-committal
people the
attitude nowadays.
wrong way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like cuz it's like, well, oh, well, we have responsibility. You don't want to sound like you're preaching, but at the same time you don't want to feel like you're kind of talking down to people, which you could be hey, look, I mean, look at us. We have the best intentions in the world with this, and it might come off as talking down to you, which I mean,
Not what we're going for.
nah, not what we're going for, but at the same time, fucking grow a pair. You I'm just saying, like, come on, like,
So all the ladies down there, wow, all the ladies out there,
mhm.
if you can't grow down there,
Let's not, get ourselves me too there, pal.
I mean, listen, grow up hair doesn't mean physically; it just means
Yeah,
mentally, attitudinally,
yeah,
fortitudinally, grow up hair.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So, but that's our chat on responsibility. Hopefully you kind of liked it. If you have comments, please feel free to leave comments whenever you see this, whether it's on the audio apps or our YouTube channel when we watch this and all this, or when you go back and watch this. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can always comment. Feel free to give feedback. If you thought this was absolute trash, tell us that because we have a responsibility to listen to you. For a half a second ago, they didn't get it.
Okay. Yeah.
So. So if you haven't been on our show before, we got started a while back. Alamo and I used to work with a guy named John. John was a great dude. We used to work with him at that place we talked about, the firearms retailer. just made work a lot of fun. Just the jokes and the good times and whatnot. So we all left there.
There's a lot of good times.
Oh God, I'm surprised that we didn't get in more trouble with HR and that we
Yeah.
didn't get fired. Like
Mm-hmm.
that to me is astonishing.
Yeah.
Because we've done some stuff there. We're just like, how did we not get in trouble?
I mean, the people loved
Seriously?
us, but I mean,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Oh yeah,
you know,
So we all left there. We kind of went our own ways. We fell out of touch with John. Well, Alamo and I were working. Doing an event for his lovely wife Tish. If you haven't heard of it before, check out a channel called Flipside Mentorship. They're doing great things over there for kids and for people in general. Check it out. It's called Flipside Mentorship. You won't be disappointed. Hey, there we go. Flipsidementorship.com. There we go. So we worked an event for her a couple years ago, and then Alamo called me up and he's like, "Dude, we need to get the band back together." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, bro. Like, let's do this stuff." I'm like, "All right." So I was like, "What did you want to do?" All this kind of stuff. He's like, "Dude, we can do a podcast." And I was like, "I don't know shit about a podcast, dude. What? How can we do that?" And he goes, "Bro, they put a monkey in fucking space. How hard can it be?" And I was just like, "That's a very valid point, sir." Okay, yeah. So we kind of thought about it. Well, about this time, I found out from somebody that knew John that John unfortunately took his life. He tried to solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution, and that never works. So I called up Alamo and I was like, "Hey, dude, did you hear about John?" He goes, "No, I need to call him. His birthday's coming up." I said, "It's not going to matter. John's gone." And to me, that was very much an epiphany. I was like, the podcast, I'm in. Let's do this. This is a sign. This is what we got to do. So, in developing this podcast and our brand, so to speak, of the Battle Bros podcast, we came up with the Battle Bros code. And what the Battle Bros code is it's 4 easy things you can remember to keep yourself here so you don't fall into that trap of going down that dark path with no exit, no turnaround, and there's only one way out, and that's to injure yourself, kill yourself, or something like that. We don't want you to do that. So we came up with the Bros Code. And what the Bros Code is just 4 easy steps to just keep you from going down that road. So it's easy to remember, BROS, spelling out bros, obviously. So the first one is be tenacious. No matter what you do in life, do it to the fullest that you can. Like we talked about in our show tonight, responsibility. You have a responsibility to your kids to be the best parent you can be. Does everybody live up to that? Not always. And we're not here to say that that's wrong or it's unfortunate. Everybody has things that happen.
We are all a work in progress, bro.
Everybody's a work in progress. Absolutely. But no matter what you do it to the fullest. John was pretty tenacious when he would sit there and sell case ammo, and it was the funniest shit you've ever seen. He's like, "Bro, why buy a box when you can buy a case? That's like 1,000 rounds." And they would just be like, "Yeah."
He literally he was like a redneck magician. It's just
He was like a redneck Jedi, man. Like this guy would just be like, "You want to buy a case of ammo? Damn, I want to buy a case of freaking ammo, man."
Instead of this, it was
that's it. That's his little Jedi hand trick there.
That was his Jedi hand trick. Oh man.
But yeah, he was tenacious because he went out there and he would just sell stuff, and they'd be like, "I'm good at selling ammo, apparently. Who knew?" But no matter what you choose to do in life, whether it's being a soldier, whether it's being a service member, a parent, a first responder, a teacher, a therapist, do it to the best of your ability. Be tenacious enough to try to excel at what you do, no matter what that is. Do it to the utmost of your ability. Be tenacious. R, refuse to surrender. There's going to be times in life where things don't work out the way they're supposed to. You get sidetracked. You get turned around. You get lost in the woods like a brand new lieutenant on a land nav course. Shit happens.
Ba-da-ba.
Well, I don't know why you said it in that accent, but it's like it just makes so much sense. Butterba over there, Butterba Hennessy got lost in the woods on the fucking land nav course. Can you believe this guy? Brand
Listen,
new to the unit.
fucking Butterba O'Shaughnessy, okay? Fucking Butterba
Whoa,
O'Shaughnessy.
whoa,
That's
whoa,
who.
whoa,
That's
whoa,
who got
whoa, whoa.
lost, okay?
Let's not make okay. It's bad enough he's a lieutenant. Does he have to be Irish too? Like, go fuck your face. Seriously, O'Shaughnessy, kiss my ass. Like we were talking about. Even though Alamo keeps interrupting me while I'm talking about this, I'm going to refuse to surrender to the fact that he's trying to get me off topic, off subject, and just all flustered and all stuff. I'll just sit there and go, I wish this guy would shut up. Anyway, so we're back talking about refusing to surrender. So yeah, sometimes you get knocked down in the dirt, you get mud in your face. Sometimes you got to pick yourself up by your bootstrap, your drop strap, your bra strap, whatever the case may be. Pick yourself up and keep going. Don't stop trying to hit that goal, that objective, that hitting that X, that OBJ. Don't ever quit is basically what that means. Refuse to surrender. Oh, obliterate your obstacles. Sometimes in the process of refusing to surrender, you come across obstacles. Okay, what do you do with it? Oh no, I'm just gonna sit here and stare at the wall. Wrong answer. Go around it, go under it, go over it. Sometimes, if you can't do that, you might have to detour out into the woods for about 100 yards and keep going another way. Sometimes, if you work with the right kind of guys, you might have some C4s in Bangalore. Reach that shit. Yeah, awesome. If you've never seen that done, war chubby. Fucking war chubby. Sometimes you can do like this guy. You're going to back a striker into that shit and make a fucking striker size hole in something. It's like, nice. Yeah, awesome. But regardless of what happens, obliterate your obstacles. Keep moving forward. Keep moving on. Trying to hit that goal, that task, that mission, completion point, that OBJ, whatever the case may be. Obliterate your obstacles. Last and most importantly, S. Seek out help in a time of need, okay? Like we said with John, unfortunately, there were some demons involved there that he had, and he chose to solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution, and that's never a good answer. There's so many people that suffer because of that. People left behind, friends, family, you name it. So, if you ever feel yourself going down that road, reach out to somebody. Okay, it's okay to say, "Hey, I'm in a shitty spot. I'm a little bit fuckered. I need some help."
And not to mention, like we talked about in this episode, remember who you're responsible for, because you're not doing it and not leaving anybody behind.
Right.
You're always leaving somebody behind. We
have assumed the responsibility of taking on this podcast because of guys like John, because we want to make sure that their story is told. We want to make sure that future people don't go down the same route. Would it be great if we didn't have this podcast and John was still with us? Absolutely. Unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. John is no longer with us, and that's a travesty because he was a good dude. He's a guy worth knowing. He was a funny fucker. He was just a guy that was full of life, and he was just hilarious. He was a good dude to be around. But I digress. Say bye. Allergies are kicking my ass right now. Bite my ass, Alamo. Okay, just bite my ass.
I had to. Sorry.
He was waiting to make the damn usual joke reference that he makes when I sneeze because he just saw the movie about it. He's like, "You were in the movie. You sneeze." He took a mushroom and he sneezed real big. He sneezed bigger because he took a mushroom. Anyway, whether it's when it comes to reaching out to somebody, whether it's somebody you served with, whether it's a family member, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a trustworthy coworker, a friend of somebody, whoever you can count on to reach out to them and just say, "Hey, I'm in a bad place. I need some help." Okay. The biggest thing you can do is just lend an ear and let them talk to you. Try to be there for them. I mean, the biggest gift we can give somebody is time. I have a very good friend of mine, and I was just said, "Hey, I was thinking about you the other day. Just want to drop a line, see how you're doing." And they responded back by saying, "I appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much for your friendship. You've always given me an ear and great advice, and I appreciate and I love you for that." I'm like, "Love you too, absolutely." Giving your time to somebody is the best way you can give somebody the help that they need. Give them some time, let them vent their problems, all that kind of shit.
That's right.
In the event you don't have somebody that kind of fits that bill or fits that description, there are resources out there. The biggest resource that we push and that we talk about is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. That's 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. Or if the last four digits, you can spell out the word TALK, TALK. You can also dial 988. Again, that's 988. What's cool about that, they added that 3-digit prefix, I believe, midway through last year. But you can also text that if you can't talk on the phone. I mean, let's face it, we live in a society where we text a lot of stuff. You can text. They have people there 24/7. You tell them like, "Hey, I need some help. I need to talk to somebody like right now." There's no shame in saying you need help. That stigma needs to be broken. Like, "Oh, I need help. Oh, suck it up, toughen out." Hey, naysayer, fuck off. Get bent.
Yeah,
Eat a bag of dicks. Get gone. Okay?
bitches.
Somebody needs help. Exactly. Bitches. Somebody needs help. You get them help. And that's what you do. It's our responsibility to our fellow man. Not only to our fellow man, but for us, our fellow veterans. We are such a small group of people in society. For the global war on terrorism, less than 1% of people served in the global war on terrorism. So
Yeah,
think about that. These are people that deserve to have their story told, that need to have help when help is needed by them. So, just remember that there are people out there that need help. So, our responsibility is to those people, to people like John, to make sure that what happened to John doesn't happen to everybody else. Just like with the story of the Vietnam vet I told you, we want to make sure what happened to us doesn't happen to you. Guess what? We're in the same boat. So, you have a story that needs to be told. You deserve to be here, and it's our responsibility to keep your ass around. Okay? So, if you can remember those four things: be tenacious, refuse to surrender, obliterate your obstacles, and seek out help in a time of need, you have a pretty good chance of doing okay. And that's what we're here to do. We want to stop this number right here, the 22 a day, that number of military service members or veterans that commit suicide. That's too much. 22 is a large number, but when you know one of those people, Alamo knows, I believe, 5. I know
yeah.
1. And it
John
sucks
being one
when
of
you
them.
can put a face to one of those numbers. It just hurts that much worse. So please
Yeah,
help us in our responsibility to push it forward, um, to pass it along and to pay it forward. So we would appreciate your help in that matter. But anyway, Alamo's going to talk about all the social media stuff and close us out here so we can get the hell out of here and get you guys all to bed because we're already over the hour mark. But
Yar.
here's his piece. Hit it, my dude.
So, if you would like to catch us on any other platform, if you'd like to catch us over on the social medias, you can do that on facebook.com/battlebros.podcast. You can also do that on the Insta at Battle Bros
Battle
underscore.
prose, war poems, battle
Yeah,
prose.
yeah. Battle Bros underscore podcast. You can also do that
That sounds like an awesome
at.
idea.
Oh, well, yeah, I just hit the. You can also do that at Battle Bros PC.
How does it feel,
Uh,
fucker? I'm
Battle
getting you
Bros
all
PC
flustered.
on the Twitter. Also, if you want to go ahead and instant message us on any one of those platforms, you can do that. And typically, we will go ahead and message you back within a 24-hour period. If you feel more comfortable sending us something a little bit more personal, a little bit more private, you can do that over on the Goo at battlebrospc@gmail.com.
The Goo Goo Mail.
That's right, the Goo Mail. And if you're watching us here on the
Did that just
YouTube,
become a thing?
yes, it did.
Did we just make that a thing?
Goo.
The Goo Goo Mail.
So, if you're watching us over here on the YouTube and you would like to see us over on another platform, you can do that over on rumble.com. Just search all one word, Battle Bros, and it'll take you directly to our channel, and you can hit the rumble button and you can give us some positive rumbles, not some negative ones. I've seen some negative, but I'm not gonna comment on that one.
What have they said in the negative stuff? I'm curious. I have not seen these.
Nothing, just negative rumbles. I'm not sure what the idea was for it, but we've got negative rumbles, and
Like, hey, you
at
guys
least
suck.
give
The
us
guy
some
with the
feedback.
white guy with the large head is scaring children.
It's possible. It's
Okay,
possible.
that's fair. I mean, it's not none I haven't heard before. So
But yeah, definitely give us a follow over there on the Rumble. It is a platform that I believe is growing very well. It is also a platform that I believe has a lot of potential. So every episode that we do here on the YouTube is going to be uploaded automatically directly to Rumble. So if you have Rumble as a video option of choice, go ahead and go over to the Rumble and search us and give us a Rumble and a view right over there. um Also, you can catch us on pretty much any audio platform that is available. If you like iHeartRadio, if you like Spotify, if you like Amazon Music, Audible, all that good stuff, you can catch us on those platforms as well. Our list of audio platforms that we are being expanded to is growing. So it's so freaking nuts how many platforms we're on now.
The fact that like
And,
you can go
and
on YouTube and like search our podcast and you see our mugs up there, you're just like, oh fuck,
yeah,
that's there forever.
yeah. First episodes were cringe. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, we're sorry, we
Yeah.
haven't exactly worked ourselves into our personalities on air, so
Oh
which
yeah,
is what
we
you see
hadn't done
now.
that yet. Yeah. But
I'm
yeah, if
sitting there
you
like this, the first episode, I'm like
oh yeah, I
looking like
remember.
one of those little cat clocks with the
I
eyes.
remember. um,
Jesus, it's terrible. But
but
hey,
yeah,
we've gotten better. We've grown.
damn right. So yeah, go ahead and catch us over there on all of those platforms. Again, iHeartRadio has been. I'm gonna be honest. It seems like, especially whenever I check out the data, seems like it's been.
The analytics.
Yeah, seems like it's been actually probably the most popular one ever since we got uploaded onto that one. So, hey, if you
Yeah.
like
Well,
listening
also
to,
the fact too, we've had some issues with the last couple of shows. So once we get that
yeah,
resolved and hopefully get the
no
last few
worries,
shows up
folks.
there, I think that'll help. So
Yeah, no worries, folks. I will have those episodes uploaded very soon. Very soon.
but again, like we've said in the past, the viewers, like we were looking at this stuff a while back, and it's like it's probably, I would say, 1,200 views now on YouTube, and it's like that's crazy. We just
Yeah,
put together a show. We're just two damn dudes talking about other dudes.
we're the dudes talk about the dudes
I was
playing the
hoping
other dudes.
I was hoping you would catch that reference. We're just talking about vet issues and lifestyle and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. And like for us to have 1,200 views, it's like dope. That's cool. Nothing is important though as saving one person from making that untimely choice to solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution. That's the number,
Absolutely.
that matters most. If we get more views, great. Hopefully we can spread this message of understanding and saving others and love and respect to our fellow veterans out there to other people.
Oh
Just
wow.
remember, it's not always about us. It's never about us. It's about us telling a message that somebody else might need to hear, or somebody else hears it and they pass it along to the person that really needs to hear it. And it's like, okay, cool. I was gonna kill myself, and then I saw these two guys talking about some real shit. And at first, I watched just because the Hispanic looking dude is good looking. He's got a nice haircut, clean shave with that lovely soap from Zach the Girl Apothecary, and help him
Yeah.
not have razor burn. And the other guy, he's just got a large nugget. So, and he looked kind of goofy and strange and abnormal. But then I listened to their message, and hey, it was actually something worth hearing. So I decided not to kill myself. There's a lot of
Indeed.
things in there that are a little bit of a stretch,
A little
talking
bit.
about some of the details. But if somebody comes up to us and says, "Hey, man, I was going to kill myself," and then I watched it and I heard your show, and I stopped for a minute and I thought about what I was doing, maybe I even laughed a little bit. That to me would be just the greatest sense of accomplishment.
That honest to
Besides,
God would be one of the best compliments I think we've
yeah,
ever gotten. That's just the God's honest fucking truth.
I'm proud of a lot of things in my life, like having a daughter who is just absolutely wonderful. She is the light of my life.
My
Serving
boys.
my country, your boys. By the way, I saw that video of your oldest getting baptized. Man, that was awesome. That
Hell
was good
yeah.
stuff. I know you saw you get a little bit teary eyed and emotional there too. I was like, oh, buddy. But
I held it together, kind of.
you did a good job. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I've been proud of. You know, when I got my blue cord pinned on, when I went over to Afghanistan and did my part and all that kind of stuff. But to save somebody from not, hitting the off switch permanently,
Yeah.
that'd be that would be amazing. So
And that's why we say share the show, man. Share the freaking hell out of it, because that's
pay it
honestly the
forward,
best
pass it
way.
along.
Yeah, it's honestly the best way we could get the message out there, and it's probably the best thing we could probably do for. I mean, hey, sometimes the message isn't just for you. Sometimes the message may not even be for you. It could be set for friend, family member, platoon buddy.
You're a link in the emotional Pony Express chain. You pass it along, then somebody gets the letter they need to get, and it's a message from us.
Correct.
That's what it's all about. So just remember,
Absolutely.
folks, remember the 4 tenets of the Battle Bros Code. Be tenacious, refuse to surrender, obliterate your obstacles, seek out help in a time of need. If you can do those 4 things, you should be okay.
Damn right.
Thank you so much for listening or watching our episode 062 on responsibility. We are going to keep trying to do our very best, as always, to bring a good message, a positive message, or something that might need to be said to the folks that need to hear it.
Damn right.
Our responsibility is to the veterans of our generation and other generations, and to remember John, and to help other people not make the same choices that he made to take himself away from others. So,
Correct.
on that note, again, thank you for stopping in to listen to our chat. We appreciate your listenership or viewership of our show. Hopefully you dug it, and we'll come back and check us out again. Just remember to check out our social media on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google Plus. Your sister says it's a
Like,
Pony
share,
Express.
share. Like, share. Like, share.
I'm plagiarizing their Vic, senior Vic, the comedian that I fought. There's a comedian on Facebook. His name is Vic DiBattista. He's from like New Jersey. He's like, hey, what do you hear? What do you say about YouTube, Facebook, Google Plus? Your sister says Pony Express, and he just goes through all this, and it's great. I love that dude.
Or Uncle Joey, aka Joey Diaz. Oh, it's tremendous.
Another great comic.
Yeah.
But again, if you like what you saw, please remember to hit that like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell. Remember to pay it forward, pass it along. You never know who this message is going to help. So we would appreciate your help in helping us help others.
Right.
I know that's redundant. It makes sense in my head. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. I just took a monster before the show started, so I'm caffeine and personality and lack of sleep. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll hope to see you down the road soon. This has been episode 62 entitled Responsibility, 062 entitled Responsibility of the Battle Bros Podcast with Mac and Alamo. On behalf of my co-host Alamo, my name is Mac. Thank you so much for stopping by. We love you. We appreciate you, and we will see you down the road.
Battle Bros out.
Carry on.